Mic check, L Boogie CLT on the L Boogie Reacts channel, man. Let's go. Might need to turn our microphone up. Mic check, mic check. Yeah, man. How y'all doing today, man? How y'all doing today? Mic check, mic check. Might have to do it a little bit, might have to do it a little bit louder. All right, man. All right. Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk wasn't really familiar with who she was. A lot of people have given their, you know, they have said what they said about Erika Kirk, how she has attachments or involvements with famous people, even the president. Basically, it was the president. Okay, so the president was someone that she's acquainted with, and basically, people are starting to investigate on who Erika Kirk is. All right, we all know as well she's Charlie Kirk's wife. That's she's a widow wife now. And from my understanding, allegedly, she has pocketed millions of dollars since his death, you know, off of merchandise, sales, and stuff like that. So we're going to go over that today. All right. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to tap into the Marlon Wayans situation with 50 Cent. We'll try to give our spiel on that. I know a lot of people definitely have said what they said about that situation with 50 Cent and Marlon Wayans. We'll give our way in on that. I mean, obviously, we know there's a lot of creepy shit going on in Hollywood. So why would it be anything less than what it has been before, with it just being a spooky situation? All right, let's go, man.
Erika, one of the most alarming things about...
And then we also going to talk about hip hop, too. They're saying hip hop is dead. We're going to tap in with that and just talk about that. Do a little bit of reacting today, man. All right? So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right? Let's go.
Charlie's murder was the way that some people in this country reacted to it.
Yeah.
And not just online. This was an idea that you encountered a lot. And the idea was this. They kind of justified it. They basically said that because Charlie said or believed things that they believed were controversial or even hateful, that he somehow had it coming. What do you say to people who justified his death?
I think the first off, let me say this before we even get started. I'm not really sure what type of human being she is. I don't know what she really stands for. But to hear the Shabbat Shalom comment that she was making about Charlie Kirk when he come home, and from my understanding, the guy was a Christian. He had Christian values. Not going to say I agree with who Charlie Kirk was or even what he stood for or what he spoke about. But to say that the man is doing something that we kind of already know that a Christian man in America wouldn't just be going home screaming out unless he was being, comical about it, being, joking about it. But to say when the man gets home, he's screaming out Shabbat Shalom, he's happy to see his family on that, it just didn't sound believable to me, okay? And then her eyes kind of tell it all for me as well. Like, the eyes just kind of give it away for what type of woman I'm looking at. I'm not saying that is who she is, but the eyes just kind of look deceitful to me. All right, let's keep going.
Sick. He's a human being. You think he deserved that?
Let me speed this up. The eyes never lie, man.
Tell that to my 3-year-old daughter. Excuse me. You want to watch
No tears.
in high res the video of my husband being murdered and laugh and say he deserves it? There's something very sick in your soul, and I pray that God saves you. I pray, because that is what is so wrong. The internet in this world has dehumanized us.
All right. Well, she said the world has dehumanized us. Now, in my opinion, man, I just feel like to speak from a standpoint as if everyone else is wrong for speaking in the manner that they speak, and she's already given her approach to, you know, how people should conduct themselves when it comes to his death, but he had no, you know, you're in the public, you're in the media basically. You're speaking from a standpoint of as if you know for a fact this is how all the human beings conduct themselves, especially when it came to like the black culture, okay? And just hearing some of the things he said, like how could she ever feel like somebody's going to give her or her husband the benefit of the doubt when it comes to, you know, being nice about a death of someone. I'm not saying that I praised the man passing because I didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was, first of all. But to hear someone kind of like just spewing it from that manner, but you could never tell that man where he was wrong when he was talking about all of these other cultures and ethnicities, then I think that kind of shows what kind of person you really are, you know. But look at the eyes, man. The eyes never lie, man. Let's keep going. All right, so we got this one pulled up. We're gonna see what Candace Owens has to say about it. Candace Owens has been on she's definitely been on a rampage, all right, and she's been knocking them down like bowling pins, all right. She been cooking, all right, and from my understanding, they're saying TPUSA wouldn't even think, wouldn't even cross her path, want to sit down and have an interview with her because of the all of the information she has. So let's hear what she got to say about it. This says Erika Kirk tells me to stop. Tyler Robinson makes his first appearance.
Let's just start with the talking points. Let's join the members of the press and the influencers, okay? Here's what we're saying. Let's be influenced. Talking points. There's a bigger mission at bay. We need to focus on a larger, bigger mission. Another talking point. It's going to ruin the trial. If you guys keep thinking that things don't make sense, you could ruin the case. And the final stop, of course, in these talking points is this is an illness, right? There is something wrong with you at home if you don't find what we are telling you to be true. Trust us, okay? You're mentally unwell. What we are looking at right now is a badly run PR campaign. I am saying that it is badly run because it's recognizable. A good PR campaign is not recognizable. A bad PR campaign is an obvious one. And I am going to request respectfully, I know it's not going to be honored, I'm going to respectfully request that all of these Agent Smiths in this obvious matrix just stop, okay? This PR campaign, it's been nonstop since Charlie was shot. It was honestly dead on arrival, okay? We do not trust this. We do not believe this. And yet we are wildly kind of in this position where they're testing to see how many times they can say the same thing before they convince everybody else at home that it's true, okay?
I think a lot of that does stand to be true. Like, it seems like every time you're on to something, when it comes to the media, they're going to find some way to shoot it down anyway, okay? They're going to find a way to get rid of or to poke holes in your narratives. Now, a lot of people are sitting up here saying that Candace is, she's crazy as well, right? But what I will have to go out on a limb and say is that if they're both working, right? because at this point it just seems like content. The real cover up is what's taking place at TPUSA, and that's just my opinion, right? Like for a man to be assassinated, and then from that assassination, someone capitalizes off of that assassination, and they profit millions of dollars. Okay, like from my understanding, there were merchandise sales taking place the day after his assassination. All right, there's a profit involved with that. Someone's profiting off of that. And from the looks of it, it's looking like the widow is profiting from it. And I'm going to just say allegedly. Like, I'm doing a lot of alleged, creating a lot of allegations. But it doesn't seem false to me because we're hearing you point out the fact that Candace Owens she's profiting off speaking about the demise of your husband. But I believe you profited off of it as well. All right. And I think that you made off a lot more well than this woman has made off at this point, off of that assassination. Let's keep going, man.
Their equation that they seem to be running, if it's that formula, is talking points multiplied by 10,000 talking heads must equal results. Okay. They believe that with enough of an echo, they can override basic human instinct, basic intellect, really. There is, I would like to be very clear, nothing that feels right to me about the Charlie Kirk assassination, and especially the way that some of his employees and friends have been behaving since that assassination. And I'll preface this with, I am very sorry if that offends you, Erika. Genuinely, I am sorry that there is no amount of increase in pressure and propaganda and headlines written about me that are going to convince me. And by the way, I'm just the conduit, right? You're attacking me, but you're angry that also the masses have not accepted this. There's not a number that is going to convince the masses that his human neck, stopped the 30-06 bullet. Okay.
No,
and not even just stop the bullet. I also want to be clear here.
So the ballistics has already been revealed. What would have happened to this man's body, neck, head, if he was assassinated with the 30-06 cartridge? Okay. It's already been like on the table. It's already been revealed what it would look like. And it didn't look anything like what it would have looked like had it been a 30-06. And I think that's how could you fault a person for giving their opinion once again? It seems like a lot of people giving their opinions get so much slack because they're giving their opinion. And when they're giving it, they're kind of going with what is known to be true. All right. So it's like always trying to prove a person wrong in a situation where it's looking like exactly what the opposite is saying. Not what you're saying, but what the opposing, factor is saying.
It's not just that they're saying that it ricocheted and it stopped, and this would maybe be the first time in human history. And please, if you do know a story, you've got an old article, I don't care where it's from, if you saved a newspaper article from the early 1900s in your family of an example, I don't think that bullet existed then, but like of a 30-06 being stopped by a human neck, please present it. I'd like to show that it is possible, right? It is actually, this happened one time down in Texas, it's possible. But not only are they saying that they stopped it, but I want to remind you that there was minimal damage to the front of Charlie's neck as well, okay? Right. There was minimal damage to the front of Charlie's neck as well. So it didn't even cause a lot of, damage as it went in. It just cleanly went in and then ricocheted downward into his stomach. I'm frustrated, obviously, for a lot of reasons, but Erika's, that's now being teased, the interview with Bari Weiss, it's being termed a town hall. And Bari is obviously just a Tel Aviv agent. Her entire background story, her rise, her studying in Tel Aviv, her family ties, the hand of Midas pulling her through the ranks a la Jeffrey Epstein. Despite her sub-average intelligence, she's not interesting. She somehow becomes a chief over at CBS News. Right? This actually, what I'm saying about Bari Weiss, this gets into Tucker's quote-unquote problematic speech at SAS when he jumped on stage and basically asked that question. How are all of these subpar people becoming billionaires? The rest of us have to work forever. They're not interesting. They're not talented. And they just seemingly are just getting all of this money and opportunities offered to them. This is clearly not a meritocracy that we're living under. It feels more like, and I'm saying this, more like a cartel. Okay, Bari Weiss is actually one of the people that we should study when it comes to being unimpressive and just getting handouts anyways. It's like welfare. I feel like she's on welfare. Like we all have to work and she gets promoted. And she's going to be unimpressive in this clip because that's her default. She can't even convincingly ask the prepared, loaded question that she is going to deliver to Erika. And this question, like I said, has likely, by the way, been reviewed and marked up by lawyers, but she still is not even convincing, despite having it ahead of time in this delivery. Take a listen.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people?
It seemed like CBS prepped Erika Kirk for the question, so I see exactly where Candace Owens is coming from with that. She's like, hey, you're asking a question based on, you're wanting to get a certain answer from a person, right? So, like, it's already like you've been prepped to answer it in this manner, this predicament, and it to, come off to the people that's listening a certain way so that it could be convincing, okay? Not speaking about none of the money she's made, but only speaking about all of the money that Candace has made.
That are putting these lies out into the world right now.
Stop. That's
What up,
it.
Phoenix?
That's all I have to say. Stop.
So this is just to me. I'm going to also let you know they pre-recorded this. Obviously, I told you this yesterday from about 11 o'clock to 4 p.m. I have sources just everywhere. CBS News, the people that were in the audience I showed you were emailing me, and they had to do multiple takes because Barry wanted to read a prompter. These questions were pre-submitted, okay? And I would like to respond to this loaded question. What would you like to say? The podcaster Candace Owens, I'm not even going to address this repeat talking point about people making money, except for the people that have actually made off of all of the money, millions upon millions of dollars. But this is the new thing. It's like if you keep doing what you're already doing in podcasting or keep doing what you're already doing and doing ballistics on YouTube, if you catch a bunch of views, they want to convince you that like you wake up and you turn into a millionaire. Building her business. What are you talking about? I already had this business. I was already at the top of the charts. Okay, I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I actually did because it's so ridiculous. Okay. But she says, I'm lying. And Erika responds, and her answer to what do you want to say to the podcaster Candace Owens who is lying is stop. So Erika would like me to stop lying. And I would like to honor that, okay? I can only honor that if Erika is more explicit in terms of what I have lied about. What did I lie about? It's just incredible. There have this opportunity. The questions have been before. You could just start like going through them. Maybe they will. By the way, it's coming on Saturday. Maybe I've made a mistake somewhere and I'm happy. I want to correct that, right? I'm not interested. My goal is not to tell lies. It is obviously plausible that I have made mistakes. I've reviewed these lists that we've put together and I can't find the lie, okay? The lies that I find are coming out of Turning Point USA. Okay, and here are some of those lies. Mikey had blood all over him. Okay, Mikey has offered that his dad was confused.
So I know one of the biggest things that was being spoken about, and I think I'm going to go ahead and pull this video up as well, is that, the bullet. So I see that on there. It says Charlie's neck stopped a 30-06 bullet because he ate salad and had strong bones. Oh my God, it was a modern day Christian miracle. Offender Andrew Colvett. So I know that was one of the biggest talking points. The amazing, heroic, magnificent Mikey McCoy had blood all over him. Offender Rob McCoy. The magnificent Mikey McCoy caught his father first. Mikey McCoy was a hero that day. Offended everyone. Charlie never wavered in his support for Israel. I think that's also was one of the things where, I had went and watched the PBD podcast, and PBD podcast basically had a video where Charlie Kirk was speaking, and he kind of already understood like what was taking place when it came to the small hats or, standing with Israel. I think that a lot of the things that have been, said and have offended Erika Kirk at this point is kind of like, why aren't you investigating all of the things that we're saying, opposed to you just going with whatever's being spewed out at this point? Like, you're kind of just following the narrative, like the main media narrative. Like, you're not if that's like my wife being uh assassinated, I'm going to want to hear everyone's perspective, right? Like, I'm not just going to take with what someone says, even the Tyler Robinson situation. I'm gonna kind of want to go get as much information as I can to make sure no stone goes unturned, basically. You know? So I don't understand why that's such a big deal for a person. If they lost someone, you would kind of want to get to the bottom of every bit of it. You don't want to just, you know. So let's play this one, and we'll come back to that one. But like I said, like the eyes as well, like
And optimize.
the eyes are the eyes tell everything, man. And this lady's eyes just fucked me up, man. I'm gonna be honest about
I've
it.
gotten to a point where I am uncomfortable with what is coming out as far as the Charlie Kirk case. The odd energy that Erika Kirk is giving off, and that's being pretty nice about it. And I'll give you an example. Erika Kirk forgave Tyler Robinson when she gave a speech, and the guy is not convicted yet. This was at a point when there was not much out about him. So we live in a country where it's you're innocent until proven guilty, but she just decided his guilt and then forgave him publicly. And look, I'm Christian, so I believe in protecting your inner peace. And one of the biggest ways to do that is forgiving people saying, look, I forgive you, I'm moving on. That's it. But doing it publicly on this kind of stage with this many people watching doesn't make that much sense. It really doesn't. And one of the big things that I am trying to figure out is why there are lies starting, why Erika Kirk is defending these weird things that are coming up. One of the things is that Charlie Kirk had sent people texts saying that he was scared for his life, that he thought he was going to be killed. And here is Erika Kirk saying that that is absolutely not true.
But he was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. They're coming after me. Someone's going to kill me. He didn't say that. And I have his cell phone.
Okay, so.
And that's crazy. Like, you're going to defend the fact that he didn't say it, or did he say it? Like, you're basically saying, like, hey, whoever said that this guy was doing this just false, right? And it's like, really? Like, you're really going to take someone else's side opposed to your husband's? That, like, you're starting to look very shady. That looks very shady in my opinion, okay? Like, the fact that you won't admit something that could be just as, prevalent to the assassination of your husband, you're going to overlook that. You're starting to sound compromised. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion about it. Like, you're starting to sound very compromised, and you're starting to look very shady, lady. And the eyes never lie. I'm sorry.
A couple of questions here. How do you have his cell phone? Wouldn't that be a piece of evidence? Like, I don't know everything that goes into these investigations. Obviously, I'm not in law enforcement, and I don't fucking want to be. But doesn't it seem kind of weird that she's like, oh, what? No, look, Candace Owens is wrong. She showed the text on screen. I have his cell phone where, obviously it should be in evidence, but I have it and it's all good. He didn't send those texts. Here is somebody out of TPUSA saying that he received those texts.
He wrote me this: please pray for me. I'm under the gun on something right now. Prayers appreciated. I texted him and I said, I hope you've increased your security detail. He texted me back. He said, quote, I have. I know they want me dead. And I don't know who he meant by they. He wrote me this: please pray for me.
So why the lie? I'm trying to put myself in the position of somebody who has lost somebody extremely close to me in a heinous act, okay? For me, I would be on fire. I would be like, dude, I want everybody interviewed. I want everybody's cell phone who was there. I want all of the information possible, and I'm going to be pissed off until we figured the whole thing out. But she's like, oh no, he wasn't worried about being killed. Well, which is it? And if this guy is telling the truth, why lie about it? It just kind of seems like they're hiding something. What else can a rational person infer? All right, you guys, so drug discovery has been completely broken for a while now. Over 90% of drugs fail, and it's anything other than CNN. But she gets interviewed by this lady, and this lady just kind of like makes up this whole thing. This woman is making a living off of you talking about this.
Yeah, that's it's like 3 strikes you're out. It's like multiple red flags. You're siding with the media. The media is giving you these talking points from my standpoint. Like, it would be one thing to consider yourself to be scared, or you're concerned for your own safety, so you're kind of playing it cool. But to kind of like throw Candace under the bus or anyone else who's trying to really resolve the issues that took place with your husband kind of just look skeptical, you know? Let's keep going.
What do you have to say to her? Look at Erika Kirk's face.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's. At one time, an employee.
Okay, let me restart this. Look at the shift in her face. She's smiling, she's happy, and then boom.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time,
the podcaster Candace Owens. Let's see if I'm gonna change this again. My bad, y'all. Let me change the transformation. Let me transform it real fast. Look at this lady's face, man. Yo, her face looks like she's like, it literally looks like a script, okay? It literally looks like she's being told, paid, said, you know, just doesn't look realistic, man, you know? If somebody's trying to help you, and I'm not saying they're trying to help you, but if like they're coming with some type of good information or whatever the case may be, why would you go against that, basically, right?
Friend of Charlie's, at one time an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies?
That looks like a fake ass mad face, you know? I'm not really trying to overanalyze it, but I know I am at this point. But that face just doesn't look convincing, you know what I mean?
Out into the world right now.
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
The podcaster Candace Owens.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like when a kid is like trying to be mad at their parents. Yep. Hey, little Timmy, you want to go to Chuck E. Cheese? No, I don't want to go. Also, what's with the like acting? Go from giggling and smiling to stop it. These two clips have the exact same energy.
That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
Wait, I've seen this before.
I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
Them fucking eyes as well right there, boy. Them eyes right there are telling, boy.
Uh-huh.
And this guy, man, let's keep going.
We wrestle not.
This is just getting fucking weird. Here's the next thing that's just fucking wild to me, okay? Everybody's targeting Candace Owens off of making money off of this, but she was a podcaster before this. This is just something to talk about. And as far as I know, nothing that Candace has said has been a verified lie, although there have been verified lies coming out of TPUSA. One of them is from Erika Kirk herself, where she says he never sent a text saying that he was scared for his life. Dude from TPUSA just proved you wrong. I mean, look, I'm not saying she's quote unquote purposely lying. She's probably dealing with a lot. And when I say she's dealing with a lot, she's dealing with a lot of stuff in regards to making money, running ads on Charlie's account, posting on Charlie's account like Charlie's still alive, promoting a book, rake in the cash, rake it in. We got to make as much money off of this as possible. I mean,
from my understanding, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, like $100 million was one of the words that were, spoken. Let's keep going.
Does TPUSA really, really have any place to talk about money with people? Also, I want to just point this out. Isn't it weird how the comments are turned off? Like, you remove free speech whenever comments are turned off on videos. It's the funniest thing to me. Like, there have been a couple of issues in the gun industry for a while now. And it's like, no, we'll just shut the comments off until people forget about it. That's just pussy. If you have a show, if you have a news network and you feel like you need to turn the comments off because that many people are picking up on BS, quit your show. Quit this bullshit. Whatever this is, Fox and Friends, get rid of it. I don't even know how to turn my comments off on my channel. Check this shit out.
That's Benjamin Netanyahu's son. I called it. That's Erika Kirk. That's Benjamin Netanyahu's son. I called it.
So what was that? I mean, I've talked about this before. I was big in the dance halls for a long time in Texas. So I understand how, men and women dynamics work. And if I'm hugging a woman like that with my arm around her, my hand on her shoulder, good old hug, especially if the woman is not in the middle, they were together 100%. So I'm not saying Israel did anything here, but I'm saying that there is a lot of propaganda going out right now And it's just a shame. Like, dude, make your money. TPUSA, I have no problem with them being capitalists, even though they're a nonprofit, right? Which I probably should take that back. I do have a problem with their company acting as if they're a nonprofit when there is a fuckload, literally a fuckload of money being poured into them. And I would like to know, straight up, did Erika Kirk take the money from Israel?
Follow the money, man. Follow the money, bruh. I'm telling you. Like, the money has to be followed at this point. And anybody that doesn't want to admit that, it's kind of just, they just don't want to admit that there's some bullshit going on. Like, be honest, man. $100 million. And she's got all of these different connections, all these different ties with other people, other nations. It's not going to be hard to convince a logically thinking person that this was a money play, okay? And add to the fact that this man was also speaking against the Bibi Netanyahu type of industry or, nation, okay? He had took it upon himself to speak against that type of nation, all right? So to believe that it's far-fetched, nah, man. Nah. Okay? We need to be looking right where we're looking, okay? Let's not look past it. Let's not try to convince people that it's not real. To do that would be asinine, basically, okay? And it's like all of the major news medias, they're all providing that same information, okay? And let's go back to
I'll accept that. Well, I didn't lie about that. Rob McCoy lied. His father also said he called his father first. Maybe Rob McCoy was confused. Mikey being a hero for walking away doesn't feel honest. Charlie's neck stopping a 30-06 bullet because he ate healthy and had strong bones. It was a modern day Christian miracle. That feels like a pretty big lie. Okay. Charlie never wavered in his support for Israel was a nasty lie. Maybe Barry what do you want to say to the people that literally lied about what Charlie was living through in the last weeks of his life? Stop, Josh Hammer. Stop, Bibi Netanyahu. No, I'm sorry, Barry Weiss is here. We're not going to get to that. Charlie was a committed evangelical who only liked Catholic architecture. Did I lie about that? Nope. Turning Point USA lied about that, and I was attacked for telling me. I'm attacked for catching the lies. We'll get to that later. That's their new method. Once first they accuse me of lying, then I prove I'm not lying, and then their strategy is to attack me for telling the truth and saying, "How dare you reveal a personal text message to defend yourself from being called a liar?" We can keep going here. Has any of this been clarified? Ben Shapiro said they never had any bad blood between them. I proved that was not true. Again, that also came from a little PR. Alex Clark pulling that move. Next page, Terrell Farnsworth was told to remove that SD card by police. That was not true. Terrell Farnsworth personally told me that was not true. Terrell removed the SD cards because people were stealing hats. Again, not what Terrell Farnsworth himself told me. And also doesn't make any logical sense because if you were worried about theft, you would have taken the cameras and not just the SD card, particularly from the camera behind his head, as opposed to the cameras that were in front of him. Lie. Charlie established a Doge and it was not unusual. That's a lie. It was unusual. Doge didn't even exist prior to Elon Musk making that a thing about government accountability. Charlie Kirk's team did not fly drones. Major lie. Brian Harpole told that lie. Brian Harpole also told a major lie when he said that the security had communicated with UVU police to secure those rooftops. That was a lie. It was actually the walkway behind. What am I getting here? What have I done here in this presentation that I lied about? Have I made mistakes along the way? Yes, I'm not perfect, and I will always adjust those mistakes. So I'm asking you to tell me what I lied about. Why is there not the same energy also for the feds? Because they told some lies. We got a list of those too. We put that together. We would like some clarity.
When do they not tell lies though? Like our federal government, man, it's just, man, it's so compromised, man. It's just jacked up that, and we'll sit here and we'll fight amongst each other as citizens, all while the politicians and the American people have to try and pinpoint and figure out what the heck is going on in America. All right? Like, think about that, right? Like, as Americans, we have to try to figure out what's real and what's fake, all while a certain group of people know exactly what's going on. That should make us all, we should all be pissed about that. I'm going to just say that, okay? We should all be upset about that. If you're not, then, maybe you just don't give a damn. But for the people that understand that we're always, they're always going to put us in front of, just harm's way, okay? This guy was speaking for, even if he wasn't speaking for my ethnicity, he was speaking for other ethnicities, for the other cultures within America. So think about how they're targeting all of those groups now at this point, all right? The Christian nationalists and shit like that, okay?
Again, Charlie being shot with 30-06. The lover text messages mysteriously presented without any timestamps, lying about how Tyler Robinson was arrested. They claim that he confessed and turned himself in. That's not what happened. That he said he was guilty. All of his, father said he was guilty. That's not what happened. Never revealed that Tyler Robinson was at the Dairy Queen following the assassination. He was throwing clothes away, as I presented to you guys in the cemetery. That's problematic to the timeline. We'd like some clarity. That's an oddity. They said Tyler Robinson was arrested wearing a maroon shirt. That actually was also not true. They said Tyler Robinson was suicidal, but also turned himself in because he was afraid of being shot by police. Those two ideas seem to be running into each other. How can both of these things be true? Did he want to die or not want to die? Maybe there's an explanation. It's definitely odd. And the footage mysteriously missing of Tyler Robinson turning himself in. And then, of course, there's just like things that we can't get answers to, which is the Egyptian planes, tracking Charlie, following Erika throughout years. Instead, they're laughing at these things. So what am I lying about? Explicitly lying about? Not made a molecular or a minor mistake. We got a time zone wrong. And then it's like, she lied. The plane left a couple of hours earlier. Maybe somewhere I made a mistake on a timeline of Charlie being here on this day when he's actually there on that day. But I'm talking like, where am I lying? Because like, I would like to stop if you can tell me. Okay. And maybe they will. Maybe we'll get to that on Saturday. And by the way, to be clear, I am also telling the truth. It is not my opinion that these questions were pre-selected. It's a fact. It's a fact. Like I said, we have insiders. The questions were pre-selected. And one of the pre-selected questions was for Erika, and this will come out on Saturday, setting the stage for her to condemn anti-Semitism, to which she responds and speaks about, as I told you yesterday, how Turning Point will be hosting a Shabbat dinner. And in case the direction of travel for CBS under the stewardship of Barry Weiss is not clear, they even brought in during this town hall the father of the young woman who was shot in DC at the Jewish Museum. I think that was an IDF soldier. I might be wrong about that. They also brought out Hunter Kozak, who asked the last question to Charlie Kirk. They filled the audience with people selected by CBS, college Republicans, with questions selected by CBS. So it just is objectively.
Come on, CBS now. Yeah, that's starting to look very shaky, CBS. Y'all are like really involved with this situation, man. Let's see who let's see who's the owners of CBS. And I think we kind of already know, but let's keep going.
A controlled and a managed situation, a controlled and a managed conversation, if you will. But, and you can predict this, if you are at home this Saturday and you watch this and you're just, a regular old person around the world and you go, this feels really scripted. The influencers are going to come out and they're going to mark you as evil, demonic even. How dare you? Question, what? Are you kidding me? This is like, you're not allowed to say that this feels scripted ever, even though this entire thing since September 10th feels scripted to me. But that's not it. Okay, we're going to get more because Erika also sat down with Glenn Beck of Blaze TV. Now, again, this is all a part of a PR blitz for Charlie's upcoming book on honoring the Shabbat, which I'm not going to be doing because I'm Christian. So I'd like to already just say no. Okay. Anyways, Glenn Beck's interview has a bunch of high points, if you will. Foremost, Erika stressing that she believes that the truth is clear. Take a listen.
I don't know how you handle this, Eric. I don't know how to be dragged into, you were involved in the death and all this crazy, evil stuff.
No, it's sick.
God bless you.
It's sick.
God bless you. It is.
My family means everything to me. Turning Point USA has always been in our life and has always been so good to Charlie, and Charlie was good to his team. Everyone loved Charlie.
Yeah.
I get that. Everyone wants an answer to this evil. And sometimes the answer is very clear.
Yeah.
The truth is very clear.
So I just want to say to, first and foremost, Glenn setting that question up, I can't find to this day, because this just feels to me to be like the ultimate strawman, any commentator that has explicitly accused Erika of killing Charlie Kirk. I've seen psychological manipulation of influencers trying to say that if you critique Turning Point, that's akin to accusing Charlie Kirk of of Erika Kirk of killing her husband, which is utterly ridiculous. But I have never seen, and maybe I missed it, I've seen a lot, somebody come out and say Erika Kirk murdered Charlie. But that's what they set up always, which is like, I don't know how you are. I've seen people digging into her background. I've seen people speaking about her Romanian charity. I've seen people looking into her mother, all of that. I've seen all of
The Romanian charity was wild as well. I'm trying to pull up all that stuff as we go along, but the Romanian charity, from my understanding, there were a lot of kids that allegedly went missing, and she was that's her charity work basically. That was spooky to hear. The Miss America USA, which was something that was funded by Trump or something like that. It's a lot of information coming out. So let's just keep going.
that. But I have not yet seen where this idea that they keep trying to seed into our minds that asking any questions is equivalent to accusing her of murder. That even that feels manipulative to me. Then comes in this totally organic question from Glenn Beck. Totally organic, right? And this is going to be the extreme appeal to authority, which is, okay, if we don't want to answer any questions, we're just going to say you don't understand how the court works. You shouldn't be asking questions because that could potentially ruin the upcoming trial. Take a listen.
You concerned about his assassin is in court today? Are you concerned about being able to have a jury that's not been tainted?
No, it's a real thing, Glenn, and you get this. A lot of people don't, and I think that we need to do a better job of educating our citizens about our court systems. A lot of people don't know how an actual trial plays out. I am very curious about how the United Healthcare case plays out. We are living in a day and age where social media can absolutely impact. I feel it can. The reason I say that is because I don't want a tainted jury pool. I want justice for my husband. Anytime we have leads, anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. We're not messing around. None of us are involved in my husband's murder. None of us. Turning Point USA, myself, any of these other crazy accusations, none of us.
Okay, so this is what I mean, where I just feel like we're just doing the same thing over and over and over again in politics, where you can just apply any situation. Like it's how it starts. It's like they come up with a narrative and it feels really stupid. Like applies to COVID, whatever. And then people start asking questions because it feels really stupid. And then they tell you like, oh, I wish you guys were more educated about science. I wish you guys were more educated about doctors and nurses, and like you're just not there. I wish we could explain to you how these things work. You're going to have to trust the experts. And yeah, I actually think that also because you guys are not trusting the experts, we're going to have to censor people on social media as they did during COVID, because social media is problematic. Actually, the problem is free speech ultimately, right? Like the problem is that you have people on social media who are talking common sense and they don't understand this. Okay, that's like that doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me, and it shouldn't work for you. And this next portion is where we get into the mass formation psychosis element, which is when they're trying to modify our behavior, the behavior of the masses, and they kind of want us to all form around this idea. And this is kind of actually the we're all in this together psychology that you're about to see, right? The higher calling element of the psychological conditioning. You guys are focusing on the minutia of that day and whether or not the government is involved with assassinating Charlie Kirk. But, Tim Pool's telling you guys midterms. There's midterms.
Didn't know she was pregnant. And
there's things that's the higher calling, right? The masses should get around that higher calling. Like, even if it goes against your gut to mask your toddler, even if it goes against your gut to let your grandma die alone in a hospital, even if something is screaming at you and you're saying, why does this all feel abusive? Like abusive to toddlers, abusive to our grandparents, let them die alone. Why does it feel to me, my instinct tells me that we shouldn't put medical masks on toddlers who can't see expressions? Well, the higher calling is that you should always ignore your gut, right? Because we're all in this together and there's something bigger that we can aspire to. You should violate your gut instinct. And that's what's coming next. Take a listen.
I don't need you to comment on this, but I think mental illness is involved in some of this stuff that is online.
Yeah,
I think it's really,
and Glenn, I'll be honest, I am not going to waste my time. Yeah, I'm not going to.
Nah, this shit is spooky, man. I ain't gonna lie. This is like some real weird shit going on in front of us, man. And it's like it's playing out on national, national media, national headline news. I have a video that I also want to. I got a couple more videos on this subject right here, but let's keep going. Sorry, y'all.
Waste my time in combating
I wish
people,
like
going toe to toe, calling people names. That's just not me. That's not how Charlie operated. There's no reason for me to go down a dark place like that. I am so tired of the fracture. What drives me nuts is that Charlie, he has worked and provided and has blessed us with so much, like literally his book, he has blessed us with so much wisdom, so much, he's just such a good thought leader. He blessed us with laser focus on the mission, on saving this country. But instead, we're so focused on who did what. Like, yes, we will figure all that out. Yes, this is a murder case. He did not die in a car crash. Yes, that will be handled. But my husband's legacy is not about his murder. My husband's legacy is what he left behind.
I just reject that. Okay, I reject that there's a higher calling that we need to all get around, and the legacy of actually the legacy. If we find out that the government is implicated, and it looks like to me, and I think a lot of people on the outside, the government is implicated. Otherwise, it wouldn't require every department of the government using propaganda to convince us against common sense. Right. Okay, and if we find out that the government is implicated, then actually his legacy is going to be that a person who gave all of himself to helping people get elected, all of himself to this political machine, was ultimately killed by it. And I think that matters to a lot of people. And I think it's obvious it matters to a lot of people because
you know what? It's hilarious that, not hilarious, but it's interesting that, like, there we've seen assassinations take place before in America, right? This guy in his last days was speaking out against a nation. Then we understand that his wife has attachments, or she's connected to this nation. It's starting to sound as if Charlie was approached in a situation where they wanted him to work for them. For some reason,
You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it?
That's that right there. Shout out to whoever subscribed to the channel. Appreciate that. So this guy took it upon himself to, go along with whatever was taking place. He was speaking out against all of the American people. And then soon as he said, hey, you know what? I'm not going against my people anymore. I see something fishy taking place. He gets taken out. Now, after he's taken out, we see all of this propaganda once again taking place in the media. Hey, this is what happened. This is who did it. We have no involvement with this. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves for even thinking something like this. And then you see all of the attachments with this. Like, she's even a fucking blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman. Like, it's spooky. It's spooky. Let's keep going, man.
Feels like $1 billion campaign of propaganda against it doesn't seem to be working. There is something very big that we are very close to unpacking here. And the panic that we sense right now in deploying what feels to me to be a really nasty emotional tactic here, basically trying to say to people, how dare you go against the grieving widow? How dare you go against David Hogg, right? And you're like, well, I don't know if David Hogg, I'm very sad, obviously, that a school shooting happened. The Parkland shooting at high school should not happen. No child should have lived with that. But why does that mean David Hogg gets to go to Harvard? Right? Does that make sense? Like, does he belong at Harvard? And they go, how you evil, demonic person. Are you possessed? How could you ever question his authority and whether or not he's equipped to run the charity and speak on, gun issues? He survived a school shooting. That's what they're doing right now. And I want to also say that why I don't love these interviews, and I say this with great deference to Erika. And in the beginning with some of these interviews, I said, look, like, of course, they're going to want to make sure they screen these questions. Like, she's going through a lot. Like, she's transitioning, she's doing this. She's like, I wouldn't want to be in her position. We're 3 months in now. Okay. We are still getting rehearsed answers. And I feel like what is missing from all of this is, I don't know, like passion, normal passion, not this like chat GBT feeling of, well, we all need to unite around the mission. It's like, no, I don't really care about cash. I would just be like, what is the borough doing? Has anybody traced this down? Okay, I don't know if Candace is crazy, but she says the French Foreign Legion was there. Has anybody chased this down? I texted her, I got this information. Okay, it's wrong. That's a dead end. Let me move over here. I've got files. I'm going to run this investigation.
No pushback. No true investigation. nothing. It's just like a cut and dry case, right? And it's that's the thing that we should all be concerned about as American citizens, is that you'll fucking get assassinated in public. You be a prominent figure for YouTube and national media, the government, get taken out, and now it's just like a cut and clean situation. Like, nah, man. Like, we should all frown upon some shit like that. I'm just being honest, man. Like, that should be something we all should take. We should all take a step back and like just pay attention to what's taking place. Now, once again, people say that she's an agent as well. Okay, so they're both doing this agency shit, right? But that should make us all open our eyes. That should wake us up a little bit, okay? All right, that should definitely wake us up. How many more minutes she got of this? About 6 more minutes. Let's go.
Alongside you, Cash. And I don't know what he's doing. I want like one critique of the FBI, one critique of anything which the public is saying is worthy of critique. Like, it's almost like you're dressing down public perception. Like, people think that you can have enough money to just cut over people's gut instincts. That's what it is. It feels like we're so rich, you don't have the right to think.
Thanks.
Okay? We are rich enough to remove that. So stop thinking. The elites are here. It feels elite. That's why I hate this. It feels elite. It feels like the opposite of whatever turning point felt like when they were the underdogs, right? This entire presentation is elite. I'm on CBS stage with pre-prep questions and Barry Weiss, and I obviously have rehearsed this answer because I got these questions ahead of time. I obviously know I'm going to get asked this, so I'm going to I don't even and this is a fact. You can ask anybody who's ever interviewed me. I never ask for questions ahead of time. I don't want to know. I don't want to know the direction it's going into. I never give them anything. I never say we can't talk about this. Something's off record, because even getting questions ahead to me, preparing answers feels fake and gay, right? That just feels rehearsed, because it is. It has to be rehearsed. You got the questions ahead of time. And at this stage, I don't like it. I don't like it. I want something that feels anywhere where it feels authentic. Like one question mark that you have, you're like, oh, I'd like you to be like, I don't know about those text messages. I think Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger, but the text messages are weird. It's just, I trust my team. My team is amazing. And my favorite date is April 24th because it's not too hot and it's not too cold. And all you need is a light jacket. Like, it feels,
Peace,
fake.
1509.
It does. I'm sorry. And
yeah, man, this is some fluke shit right here, man. This is staged. It's dangerous. It's ugly. Like, what do we tell this to our future representatives of America when we see stuff like this taking place in our country? All right. When you see stuff like this, man, like, this guy obviously reached some type of pinnacle in his life, taken out early, and now we even got his wife doing the bidding. All right, his wife seems like she's completely in on whatever the hell took place. And it's starting to look like it's kind of like I'm putting all the pieces to the, puzzle together on my own sake. Like, I can see exactly how this took place. I need to pull up the other clip where he was on PBD podcast, but let's run this one, because this right here kind of just proves it all, okay? This is his wife, just the faking the faces. Like, it's so easy for her to just fake these faces. Like, just look at the faces. That shit looks so scripted, bro. Oh my God, bro. How do you go from crying to fucking just smiling like that? Like, how? That's like highly impossible. Shout out to IW1509. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to Africa, man. South Africa. Shout out to South Africa, man. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. We're getting love in South Africa, man. That's what I'm talking about. But just check this face, like this should be spooky to everyone watching all across the country, man. All across the world. Throwing up the weird symbols and shit, man. Like, yeah. All right, this is the last video I'm gonna run on this subject. Let me pull this up. I was watching this last night. This was very interesting to watch because this kind of should give you all an understanding of what's taking place as well. And then we're gonna go from here. Shout out to Know the Ledger, Mr. KTL or Red Pill, man. I was watching him last night. Make sure y'all sub up to Know the Ledger. Yeah, man, this was pretty interesting to watch. Let's run this real quick. Yeah, that was spooky. That's spookism right there, man. That's some spooky shit, yo. For real. Yeah, throwing up the Baphomet, man. For real. Like, there we go. Somebody see what's going on up in here, man. Like, throwing up the Baphomet, bro. Uh-huh. And went from the fake tears to just smiling with Trump all of a sudden. Just oh yeah. Like, lady, yo, you need to go sit your ass down, man. It's not looking good for you, lady. And you know, a lot of people they gonna look right past it. You wanna know why? Because they're being told to. They're gonna look right past anything that anyone shows. I'm not the only person showing this. So many people showing this information. So many people are putting the puzzles together, the pieces to the puzzle together. They're all putting it together, right? But they're going to look right past it because they're being told to. That's why when you get it's inside you, man. It's let your intuition guide you, you know. It shouldn't be a book. It shouldn't be another human being. It should be what you feel inside your own self, man. All right? Let's go.
Tim's all fired up. She's a.
Okay, let's go. We can pull.
I've been
back
hearing
on
about
this one,
Naomi
too.
for many moons.
He was talking He was talking about the Diddy situation too. We're gonna pull back on that if we can too.
This feels like COVID, right? C word. People are gonna die if you don't get this vaccine. And I'm like, I feel like maybe the government's not telling us the truth. We're right back to that, but it's Candace 19. It's Candace 19. That's what it is. And they think that it maybe if they put the little 6 feet social distancing pads in the grocery store, that the PSYOP will win and make us believe that this is like common sense is the virus. I'm the common sense virus. It's coming around. It's so evil. Stay at home, wear a mask, save lives. You don't want to catch it. You don't want to catch the common sense, you guys. You don't want to catch it.
Whoever made that, shout out to them, man. CP3 in the building.
Welcome back to Jake GTV News. Our FBI still thinks it's Tyler Robinson.
Gosh, I freaking love Israel. They're always the good guy.
Chloe and Michael, good morning. We're here outside Utah Valley University, where they literally paved over the scene the following Sunday. If this were a normal crime scene, these people would have been prosecuted for tampering with evidence. Good thing most people are triple boosted.
We want to make sure there's literally no evidence left over, guys.
Isn't this illegal? Yeah, apparently doing construction on the Sabbath day in Utah is actually totally normal.
Right, and let's not forget that Charlie had a Superman-like neck. Let's get a demonstration.
I don't think this is going to help to stop the conspiracy theories. His head fell off.
A 30-06 would have been a horror show.
Whoa! So as you can see, those would technically be the ballistics for a guy's neck if he was, assassinated or even, shot by one of these types of rifle cartridges. What it would have done to his
There,
body.
Ching Chong, we're not supposed to question that.
Listen, pussy, the only people who still believe it are groypers and Zionists.
Do you believe the Jews killed Charlie Kirk? That's one of the conspiracies out there right now. What's your position on that?
I don't believe that. As it stands right now, I think it was Tyler Robinson.
Yeah.
They're gonna even go with what everybody else is saying. All of the pushback we've gotten from this guy, Nick Fuentes, and as you can tell, people, as you can see, he's not even gonna go against what he assumes it is. Even with all of the small hat talk and Israel talk, I think it's Tyler Robinson. Oh yeah, we know you think it's Tyler Robinson. We know you're not gonna go against what the hell you've been told. Okay, we know that, brother. You ain't gotta attempt to convince us that. All right, let's keep it.
So if this 30-06 had hit Charlie in the neck the way we're told, it still could have gone through a concrete wall behind him and hit someone on the other side of the concrete wall.
Fucking unbelievable, man.
This is the guy that was martyred for fighting Israel? If you think that, I feel sorry for you, because you are retarded.
Thanks, Nick. Finally, after all your antiseptic rhetoric, you've decided to join us on our mission to shut it down. Now, Tim Pool, give Candace a piece of your mind.
Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt.
Tim Pool jumping on the airwaves with big estrogen energy telling us we're evil.
She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit.
Oh my gosh, he is so cranky today.
Yeah, that's what we call high estrogen, total puss.
Let's hear what she actually said instead. Go for it, Candace.
There are people at Turning Point who Charlie texted the night before and said they're going to kill me.
Shut it down, Candace. He said go Max to Tucker, and we pulled all our donor money. He was our best goium, and it was his fault for messing that up.
Just because a 30-06 can take down large game animals doesn't mean we won't use that as our narrative. It's not an easy task blaming a patsy. Erika, play the sympathy card.
Again, he would walk through the door, drop his bags, Daddy's home, take his phone, Friday night, Shabbat Shalom, throw it in a junk drawer, and it was...
Shabbat Shalom, nigga. Shabbat Shalom. Every Saturday, I leave the thoughts alone. Wait. Then I go and watch the throne. Hold on. Shabbat Shalom. What the fuck?
It was just all us.
Shabbat Shalom.
What do you think of Erika? Oh, great. You must watch Ian Carroll. Well, I watched Nick, and he told me Tyler was behind it and a 30-06 was stopped in the neck. So stop with the conspiracy theories.
Yes, I believe in our
artificial intelligence has gotten so good, man. This is getting even more scary. It's like, and then, you know, he's going to go into a subject about Palantir as well, right? So, like, there's a lot of just things taking place right now. And if you're not on that, you know, that side of it, you know, then you're going to be outed. You're going to be targeted, and, you know, who knows what's to come next after that. Let's keep going.
Judicial system. I do. When you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode, going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
This is going to be read as Meghan Markle syndrome, okay? Meghan Markle syndrome, where you want privacy when you want it, but you want publicity whenever you want it, and that just doesn't work, okay? This is the same person who had somebody record her.
This picture right here kind of was skeptical to me as well. Let's keep going.
Over Charlie Kirk's casket. That was not our business. You have to make a decision. I want this always to be private, or I want this always to be public.
In the building.
You're canceled.
How many people, raise your hand if y'all believe that was a hand. Raise your hand for the hand that you just saw. If you know where I'm going with that.
TPUSA is a Judeo-Christian, Jew-loving company. Pastors, shut her up and remind her why we're the chosen people.
We cancel stuff all the damn time. Hitler admirers, Stalin admirers, Jew haters, American haters, Churchill haters. You're damn right we're going to cancel them and deplatform them.
Candace Owens doesn't know what she's talking about here.
So what we did is we entered into the scriptures and grew to love the nation of Israel and Jewish people.
We are going to train 100,000 Christian ambassadors to be ambassadors in their own country for the state of Israel, to defend Israel's brand and to combat anti-Semitism.
Finally, my boy Satan will teach you Goyim to worship us instead of Jesus.
Thanks, Daisy. I just joined your OnlyFreaks, by the way.
All hail Israel, right, Ching Chong? Okay, succubus, remind.
Hopefully y'all can tell the difference between the artificial intelligence and the actual clips that they're running, because they're kind of like mixing them in. But as you can tell, as you know, from what we're looking at, if you speak out against anyone who even claims to be a small hat, an Israeli, then you're then you're you're an anti-Semite, okay? If you speak out against anything that's taking place with America, then you're anti-American, you know. But I thought we had the, the right, the freedom of speech, right? This is the things that are being pulled and stripped from us, all while, we're just being distracted with all kind of other things, obviously. But this is a very interesting subject, man. Adding to the fact that in other countries, in other nations, that once you speak out against their nation or speak out against what they've got going on, man, you might be shot down in the street. All right.
Remind me, what religion dominates the corn industry and takes Christ out of the Christmas music? You're not even actual Semites.
Misinformation spreads quietly, sometimes from people you know or love. Do your part. Help keep our community safe and get vaccinated for Candace 19.
Brought to you by the dual citizens of Israel.
No wonder they get kicked out of every country.
Wow, great point, Ching Chong.
Didn't they label Miss Rachel an anti-Semite for saying she doesn't want children not to starve?
Yep. Meanwhile, they're bombing the actual Semites.
Poor sand people. Let's see what she did.
Let's go back to sleep, Rahaf. We're so tired.
This disgusting human decided to show an amputee from Gaza, which exposes that we have been carpet bombing the innocent, and that's so antiseptic. It's like, how are we supposed to finish the sand people with her being all empathic and stuff? Oy vey. John, back to you, and don't mention TPUSA's finances.
Thanks, Shapiro Steen. Right, so basically they set up a life insurance style fund for him under GGLF in 2023, where the only payout happens upon his death. Like a $30 million payout. That's a big payout for whoever helped set that up.
Candace, explain to the fellow Goyim how much they just made at their recent black tie event that cost $10,000 per plate.
Turning Point USA, since Charlie was killed, just so you guys know this is a fact, has made more than $100 million. That is separate.
Ding, 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 ding. There it go. There it is right there, people. So more than $100 million, all right? Since he passed. More than $100 million. And they're talking about Candace Owens making money off, profiting off of his demise. Well, shit. I think she's more than likely made 100 times more than what she made, right? Andre W. in the building. What it do, man? Good to see you, man. Shout out to everybody watching, man. We got 50 people watching, man. Let's get 50 new subs, man. Let's go, let's go, let's go, people. Shout out to all the mods in the building, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up. CP3, Melly Mel, Andre W. Easy Like Sunday 100. Appreciate you pulling up. Phoenix Rising, IW 5109. Sunka Hested 6163. Felicia Fee. Shout out to all of the people that's rocking out with your boy, man. Let's keep going, man. We just reacting, man. We just reacting.
From the $40 million they made at Mar-a-Lago the other night.
Good point, Candace. They want to act like we're the grifters for an honest investigation.
Right? You may be a widow, but you're also the CEO of a $150 million company.
Straight up. Back to you, Erika.
They pick on you because of your accessories. I mean, I've seen some of it.
Oh, yeah. No, at this point, it's the conspiracy collection. Get it before Christmas. Like, seriously.
Elegance is eternal, but beauty fades. Get your conspiracy collection before Christmas. Like, seriously.
I'm done. And if people think that I was just going to wilt away, I'm not going to sit in the corner and cry and be in fetal position. This is a duty to my husband, and it's an absolute honor, and I will never back down. And so my message to them is to stop. To stop.
Hey, quick question. What do you think?
Man, stop. Please, can y'all please stop? Because you're putting a spotlight on me. And really, I just want to collect my money in peace. That's what it sounds like. Just stop. Oh, God, please stop. Yeah, we made 100 million. Yeah, I got some nice fancy shit. Please stop. Stop telling everybody what I got going on over there. They're like, please get the spotlight off of me, please.
Erika.
I had to take a leave of absence from work after my poodle died, and she becomes CEO. Like, where the heck are your kids? It just feels off.
Yo, man, quick question. What do you think of Erika?
Dude, if my wife acted like that after I passed, I'd be turning in my grave.
Shut
Shut it down! Just because we made a record amount after his death doesn't mean you can make content out of us. Run the commercials! You're about to get the Jackie treatment.
All right.
Get your seed oils and cattle feed.
I think that's enough of Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk, and the other guy. Oh, excuse me, the other lady, Candace Owens. All right, man. Now let's get to this Marlon Wayans thing, man, where they're saying that he has been outed as homosexual, man. It's just nonstop at this point, isn't it? Like, I think hip hop being not on the top charts, it's just like
Happy Pride.
We got some things to take care of, man. Let's go. We got some shit to
All my LGBTQ peeps from my block.
This is Happy Pride Day and this was Marlon sharing that. And Marlon does have a LGBT community son, so a transsexual man, I believe. It says, Happy Pride to all my LGBTQ peeps, from my block to my schools, to my cast and crews, to my friends, to my family. Who just passed Mariah Carey for the #1 spot? Hey, yo, he has a daughter, I think, in the community. Yeah. So that's why I said transsexual man. A transsexual man. He's been very what do they say? He's been very vocal about his daughter, right? And standing beside her, fighting alongside with her or whatever. Me as a parent, I don't believe that I could do that. As far as go all the way through with it, I'm not doing that. I'm just sorry. That's just not how I rock, But he has done that with his daughter. Marlon Wayans has very skeptical comedy. I will say that. But the Wayans family has done, a lot of great comedy for Black culture. To say that they are down with the society, you can't look past it, because they have done things that may have aided in that situation with his own family. So let's just keep going. This is Young Don Reacts. It says Marlon Wayans outed as gay after defending Diddy.
To my schools, to my cast and crews, to my friends and family, wherever you are.
Doing a lot, bro. You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. For a guy who's not gay, doing a lot.
Yeah.
Marlon Wayans cheat clapping secret just check.
I mean, he did so many gay jokes growing up as an adult. It's almost like it was inevitable for it to take place, okay? So
changed everything. Video by the Celebrity Junk. All right, man. Let's check this out. When are people going to learn not to mess with 50 Cent? This man is a master of the art of Machiavellianism, right? The philosophies of Machiavellianism. He wrote a book, The 50th Law. He wrote that book alongside Robert Greene, the author of The 48 Laws of Power, a book that Robert Greene wrote based on The Prince, which is a book written by Machiavelli.
Yeah, this is shit just getting crazy, but I wasn't aware of Robert Greene being involved with the 48 Laws of Power and then the 50th Law with 50 Cent. I was totally unaware of that. My opinion on 50 Cent really is that, yes, there was a lot of people who didn't want to take they didn't want to get involved with his career, from my understanding. And so he took a back seat opposed to a guy like Jay-Z, to a guy like Puff Daddy, okay, Irv Gotti. And so with him taking that back seat, whenever he got his chance, he never forgot that, okay? He held a grudge. With him holding that grudge, then this is just, this is like the big payback for him as well, all right? People like Marlon Wayans stepping in, because I remember Marlon Wayans sitting up on, he said he wasn't going to go do Vlad, but he did go and partake in Shannon Sharp. with him going to partake in Shannon Sharp, there was a question like, hey, have you ever attended any Diddy parties? He said, yes, he has, but he had never seen any of the sexual acts taking place. He always went home before. And then, like, a lot of other people said the same thing. And that's kind of where I was like, nah, you all can't be saying the same shit now. Like, you're all repeating, like, oh, I was there, you know, we was partying, getting down, yada, yada, yada. But when it was time for all the freaky shit, I just wasn't there. It's like, nah, that ain't gonna cut it, brother. And you should know that by now. You can't say that you attended a party and then all the freaky shit happened when you left. I don't know.
That Robert Greene wrote based on The Prince, which is a book written by Machiavelli. And in my opinion, the principles of Machiavellianism walk you through the art of mental warfare. And so you have to understand, when you go to battle with 50 Cent, you're going to battle with somebody who is not acting impulsively. He is incredibly strategic. He knows how to play mind games very well. And he's very good at patience and picking his battles. And so it is not wise to go to war with this man. But let's go ahead and dive into this video, because Marlon Wayans decided to beef with 50 Cent, and it's not going well for this guy. Check this out.
Recently, Marlon Wayans went to 92.3 The Beat, and he was on a podcast interview. He was then asked about the situation with Diddy in 50 Cent's new documentary.
Hey, Marlon, have you seen that the documentary, the 50 Cent?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
For Diddy?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, man, you working
Everybody
hard.
telling me you got to see it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
probably don't want to see it.
You probably don't.
Because it's all skewed, man. Like, when you put stuff together, you create whatever narratives you want to, and at the end of the day, everybody being programmed.
Ooh.
You know, right now the man's serving time.
Right.
You know, he went before the court. The court said this, and everything is God.
This is a red flag. This is a red flag. Anybody defending Diddy needs to be watched, okay? They have something to hide, because Diddy is a person that nobody should be defending. He deserves to be thrown under the bus and then ran over back and forth by the bus until he is reduced to nothing more than an unrecognizable paste. This is,
from my understanding, Diddy was one of those guys that, you know, he wasn't paying motherfuckers, first of all. That's already like, that's just right there. That's where it stops, okay? The guy, Lil Rod, got up there and really, you know, poured his heart out. They're trying to say that that was his lover or et cetera, but the lover is still saying he didn't get paid. So he basically got screwed twice, okay? Essentially, that man was screwed twice. The fact that this man gets screwed twice and people can still side with him on some shit like this, like even your lover's gonna fuck you, okay? That should be frowned upon.
how foul this guy is. I'm convinced that this man is responsible for the death of Biggie and Tupac. And let's not forget all of the evil shit this man has done to men and women over the course of the last few decades. And so when you're Marlon Wayans and it sounds like you're defending Diddy, all you're doing is telling me you got something to hide.
God said this is what he got to do. He got to do 5 years in pen. Let him do his 5 years.
He would continue to talk more about it.
We ain't baby on Puff. But yo, look, Puff is
Nah. You working with Pac?
Puff for 30 years.
You saw Big before he passed?
Yeah.
Bro, so you're close. And Jack, what were you saying?
In the documentary, there was insinuations of, that Diddy possibly had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie. And,
Who's telling the story? Right? You can skew people very close to the situation.
Right.
But you can skew.
Bro, if you watch the Diddy documentary, I'm almost done with it. I'm halfway through the 3rd episode, watching it with my wife. But if you watch that documentary, you will see it's not just 50 Cent sitting down talking shit about Diddy. He has gotten, this is something he's been working on supposedly for like the last 10 years, bro. He's gotten the closest people who have known Diddy since childhood even, to talk on these situations, man. And it's clear that this nigga has been doing some foul shit forever. And I'm convinced, bro, if it wasn't for Diddy, Tupac would probably still be alive, and Biggie as well. It's crazy.
Create any narrative as a producer and as a director. And as a storyteller, I can create a narrative. I could be like, you know what? You have? I could create a narrative. Well, we see it all the time in reality shows. Reality shows, that's how they're creating a narrative. It doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's true. I can...
Sure, but to make the narrative believable, there has to be some pretty compelling evidence. And you gotta ask yourself, okay, even if all of these people that have worked with Diddy, friends, family members, ex-girlfriends, if all of them are lying about him doing the shit that they are alleging that he has done or he has been involved in, you got to ask yourself, how terrible of a person does Diddy have to be that all these people will just get together to lie about this man? Come on, man. Now, either he did that shit or he is still so evil that literally everybody is against him. All of these people.
Interviews, I can do this, I can get footage, and I could make you think this about that person. Nah, for sure, yeah. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So for me, You know, I think, look, 50 and Puff have a long-term beef. It's personal. It's
Well,
between.
people are saying 50's wrong for doing it, but 50's right for doing it. It's divided.
It's between him and Puff. And before it's between him and Puff, it's between both of them and God. Just the way Puff is down on his luck.
There's a nigga always trying to bring God into some shit, man. Whenever people don't want to be held accountable or just speak the truth, they always bring God into this shit, man.
50's kicking a man when he's down.
That is true.
If 50 ever luck turn up on 50, you know, that you got to be careful what you put out.
Why is it whenever a nigga life falling apart or he getting exposed for some shit, he want to bring up God?
Every action that you do.
So basically, he's saying that anybody can spin a narrative. 50 Cent should be careful with all of this. And eventually, there became some back and forth between both of these guys. It's really complex, but
It's almost like the shit we just watched with Erika Kirk, man. It's like you got the script. You know what you can and what you can't say, man. You're a part of Hollywood. He's already admitted that he's all the way in with Hollywood. Marlon, come on, man. Damn, Marlon Wayans. This is some bullshit, bro. Like, and it's obvious that he's been in the industry for so many years. He's basically worn the dress. No, technically, not basically, but he did wear the dress. Him and his brother. I think a lot of, like, all four of them wore the dress. So that's already documented. It's already been publicized. So I can obviously tell that at this point, yeah, man, you're just taking the side of Hollywood. You're taking the side of hip hop where it has been destroyed. Diddy has literally destroyed fucking hip hop with the shit he's done, man. Like, you could only imagine how many people's careers he's had his hands in. All right, that's what it sounds like, in my opinion. Okay, it's unfortunate that it's going down like this with Marlon, but nah, man, you can't be taking this man's side after you hear so much fuck shit done occurred with him. All right.
talk about some of the basic stuff. 50 Cent ended up saying, "Keep my name out your mouth, boy."
With the white chicks.
That's Marlon Wayans on white chicks.
Yeah.
And then, we ended up having 12 years as a slave. That's Marlon Wayans now. Let's think about this, 50. And so it went back and forth. They were posting about each other and all of that. Marlon Wayans would then respond with something else.
All right, so I'm going to make it abundantly clear. I'm not here defending Diddy. I am here.
That's what it looked like. Dude. That's what it looks like.
Because I got dragged into this because somebody asked me a question and I had an opinion. Nobody's wrong for giving an opinion about any subject, period. Not here defending Diddy. Don't let the narrative fool you or get to you once again.
No, you can have a bad opinion. Yeah, you can have the wrong opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody asks you, what do you think about Hitler? And you're like, great guy, love him, big fan. That's the wrong opinion. And you deserve to get dragged for it. And so if you even sound like you are defending Diddy. Now, if you were going to say, oh, I haven't seen the documentary, I don't know that nigga that well, so I don't have anything I can really say, then that's one thing. But it's
Marlon can't say that, though. He's been in those rooms. And I'm not talking about the sexual rooms. I'm talking about he's been in those entertainment production rooms where things are being produced, okay? The money men, From my understanding, the Wayans family, they always needed the money to get a lot of their production done, okay? With a situation like this with Marlon, it's unfortunate as well because he said he was friends with Tupac. And so to hear the shit that you hear about Tupac, where Diddy could have been directly tied to it and the money man for that situation, and you taking the side of Diddy or just saying, hey, man, we don't really know if this is his true character. Maybe you don't want to believe it, or maybe you know more than what you're leading on, okay?
Sounds like you're defending him. You got to ask, why? Why would anyone defend a predator? Interesting.
Somebody's creating narratives. This is my point. So please.
I hate Diddy, bro. I'll be real with you. Like, I already thought he was a piece of shit person just based off the things that have come to the forefront in recent public discourse regarding Diddy as a result of the trials and all of that. But after that documentary, I genuinely, like, in my heart, I hate this guy. I hate him, bro. It is criminal.
Not gonna lie. I'm not one of them people that fuck with Diddy, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't care how people feel about P. Diddy. I don't care what people think of P. Diddy. I don't think if they want to defend him and people shouldn't be in rooms. And when you hear a person literally saying he got hundreds and millions of dollars and he paid none of the people that came up and helped him along the way, that's the one thing I don't respect about you, bro. All right? because you're not even feeding the people that's y'all supposed to be a coalition, right? Y'all all supposed to be down together as one. And to not pay a motherfucker a dime, you know, man, like nah. If that's true, what they saying about him not paying people their money, that's the part where I get frustrated at, you know, because as human beings, man, that's like anybody having bills they gotta pay, kids they gotta take care of, and a motherfucker you work for and you expect and pay. Now, if you don't know business, you need to learn business, okay? But if you just never get paid and you understand business, that's jacked up, all right? Add to the fact that the Tupac allegations, you know, I'm not gonna say like because I love Tupac's music, that's jacked up. The fact that you'll side with the opposition and you'll take out both parties allegedly, I don't fuck with that shit. Okay.
That he's only serving 5 years in prison for his crimes.
The whole clip that I did, and then look what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Y'all people don't be sheep. Use your brain, use your freedom of thought, freedom of speech, and don't ever let nobody bully you. Never. Don't let nobody bully you. You got me? Love. Back to trolling this troll.
All right, so, you know, there he is talking about he had an opinion, right? And so, to be honest, this is okay for now. But then it gets worse.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I mean. So you have this guy on Twitter by the name of Ariel, all right? And this is going viral right now. This guy says, Marlon Wayans, I know you're not talking. I will say allegedly for the smidgen of respect I have left for you.
Wow.
Now, this is the crazy shit that, you know, I believe it came out yesterday. You know, basically saying Marlon Wayans is a homosexual man. Says, I know you are not talking. I will say allegedly for the smidgen of respect I have left for you. This is what's been floating around. Marlon has spent 3 decades cultivating a hyper-heterosexual, womanizing comedic persona, white chicks. Now, I have seen his stand-up as well, and it definitely felt like, it just felt like, yeah, you know, he was definitely toying with, like, even his daughter, okay? Like, even with that just felt like he had to put it on blast in a manner to where, you know, it just was fucked up, basically. Like, ain't no other words to explain it. Scary movie franchise, stand-up routines centered on female anatomy while privately maintaining a fluid sexual spectrum that includes long-term relationships with men, multiple people inside his inner circle, 3 former personal assistants, 1 ex-bodyguard, and 2 industry producers under NDA breach protection. Spoke on the recurring same-sex encounters. So that's the news that's coming out.
This is what's been floating around. Marlon Wayans has spent 3 decades.
Show $1.4 million in consulting payments routed through Wayans Brothers Entertainment to the attorneys LLC between 2010 and 2016, far exceeding standard legal retainers, saying, hey, man, ain't no way you can explain this $1.4 million based on just legal fees. Second significant partner, a New York-based creative director, met on the set of 50 Shades of Black in 2015, who received $680,000 in production bonuses, interesting, and lived rent-free in Marlon's Tribeca loft. Wow, why would you have this man living rent-free in your loft? Wow. So-called bodyguard testimony deposed under protection in 2022 details arranging discreet hotel suites in Atlanta, Miami, and Las Vegas for male guests with specific requests for no female staff on the floor. And a burner phone left at the door. Burner phones left at the door. Wow. So this guy's essentially out in Marlon Wayans, exposing his hidden lifestyle of being a homosexual, right? And engaging in homosexual relationships. Now, look, people caring about who...
From my understanding, they always had this thing with the Wayans family, like, and they've all done gay jokes. I mean, for the most part. Like, me and this guy had a conversation about it. Shout out to him. But basically, like, there's a lot of different comedians that have worn the dress. That was the big deal with Dave Chappelle, where he was like, I'm not wearing the dress, yada, yada, yada. But then you look around and you see a whole lot of the ones that did wear the dress. Marlon was one of those guys where, he's always performed gay jokes or gay acts in the movies, et cetera, et cetera. Him and his brother Sean, they always kind of did that, even with the white chicks, yada, yada, yada. So to have the NDA, the only reason I could possibly think of why he wouldn't do that is to be outed, would be because of his mother and father. That's the only thing I could possibly think of, because when I was growing up, there was a like an allegation that they stopped doing the scary movies because of their parents not liking that type of content. And then I'm under the assumption that it was a money thing. It wasn't even about the parents. It was something, if I'm not mistaken, they were getting money with Weinstein. If I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna just say alleged on that one as well. But I think they were getting money with Weinstein. The money wasn't right, and I think they kind of went in a different direction where they could profit off of the franchise, and they didn't have to fuck with the Wayans. He spoke about that on Shannon Sharp as well.
Who you're fucking in the big 2025 is crazy. Hiding your sexuality in the big 2025 is crazy. Yes, sure. It's your business, and if you don't want people to know what you're doing behind closed doors, that is your business. But the reality is, men on the down low, especially men in the black community, they are very dangerous to society. Why? Why is that? Well, in particular, they're harmful to people in the LGBTQ community, and they're harmful to women, and they're even harmful to men. Let me explain how being on the down low actually harms all of these people, or how we see that harm manifesting. Being secretive about your lifestyle in of itself isn't harmful. You do whatever the fuck you want. You're not obligated to tell anybody what you got going on. But the problem is with a lot of these celebrities, here's the problem. One, the fact that they continue to hide this side of their lifestyle. These are people who have a lot of fans. These are people who have a lot of influence, a lot of clout, and they actually have the ability to push society forward and get away from this bullshit Christian fucking white supremacist homophobic component of society that is lingering on. You have to understand, homophobia is an invention and a tool of white supremacy, in part to control people, but especially to control black people. Why? Well, one, homophobia is a way of dividing the black community because we have gay people in the black community. And so instead of being able to lock arms with other people who are inclined to stand alongside you and support you because they are also being oppressed by the same dominant power structure of that society, which is white supremacy, well, you've unnecessarily divided your power. You've unnecessarily divided the group of people who can stand together and unite against the evil that is white supremacy. Secondly, you ostracize yourself, or you make yourself an enemy of people outside of the black community who are inclined to side with you, like marginalized people such as homosexuals in the white community, in Latino community. If you didn't have this curse of fundamentalist religion brainwashing you and telling you to hate these people just because some guy you never met who sits up in the sky and judges everybody decided to make a bunch of people that you're just supposed to hate because you have to imagine he made these people this way, right? Or he made the demons that are influencing people to be this way, or whatever you believe is the cause. He's ultimately the source of all of it. If you were able to let go of that and understand that this is a natural feature of nature, there are hundreds of animal species that have been observed to maintain and conduct same-sex relationships. You see it in...
I want to continue this subject in regards to Marlon Wayans and 50 Cent. The time went by pretty goddamn quick. I mean, I think I've been on here, an hour and a half, and I definitely got some business to take care of. Let me see if there's
and forced down our throats, and we only believe this shit because of fucking tradition. Without that, I cannot find any reasonable reason to hate these people or despise these people or have anything against them. Why do I give a fuck about what people are doing consensually as adults in the privacy of their own home? It don't affect me no way, no how. And so I'm against bigotry and hatred of all people in any form. It's just bullshit. It don't make sense to hate people just because they're being who they are. But at the same time, you're not gonna see me posting up with no pictures with no rainbow flag and
guys never loved me in the first place. How can you love anyone when you're too busy judging?
Yeah, and just for the hate mongers, I'm posting another. As a father of a child in the LGBTQ plus community, I show my support. Deserve something what people think. If I lost you, good. Your hateful ass never loved me in the first place. How can you love anyone when you're too busy judging? Some of y'all funny. I'm a troll. I'll post all day. Happy Pride to all my friends, fans, and loved ones. I am happy. You're happy. Period. Good grief on Prime Video. Watch now. Well, there was even speculation in the movie that he dropped. I forgot the name of it, but where there was a scene about doing some, performing fellatio or something like that. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen the movie, But yeah, I mean, at this point, man, I think that if Marlon is that type of guy, then whatever. That's his prerogative, man. That's how he get down cool. It really wouldn't be too far fetched because of his past in movies, theater, comedy, etc. All right. So if that's what the case is with Marlon, have at it, brother. That's your deal. All right. Appreciate everybody tuning in to the show today. Shout out to all of the moderators once again. Shout out to all the people that's watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the like button, share the content. Mama, daddy, cousin, brother, auntie, sisters, uncles, all them people. All right, friends, etc. All right, make sure you hug your loved ones. Tomorrow's never promised, man. We up out of here, man. Shout out to everybody tuning in once again. We up out of here. Salute.